Like, take the shades off, be in the moment. You miss joy. You miss joy in everyday moments because you're busy preparing for imaginary disasters. This week on Adjusting, we are talking about mental filtering, and we're calling out your brain for its dramatic tendencies and teaching it some new tricks. I'm your host, Justin, and this episode is for anyone with a PhD in worst case scenarios. So if you're a parent who is convinced that you're ruining your child, or a person who thinks they're going to die along with your 7 cats, or that professional who is still ruminating over every well, I think from yesterday's meeting, I see you. I get you. And I am here to help you adjust those anxious thoughts one conversation at a time. Because let's face it, your brain might be a harsh critic, but you're the one who gets to write the full review. So let's dive in. Welcome to Adjusting. And we're back with another episode of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. And this episode is for my Virgos. It's for my Virgos because I feel that Virgos, one pet peeve, one thing that they pride themselves on doing is always finding that one thing that could be better. No matter what you do, they always think there is one thing that could be better. So this episode is about the cognitive distortion of mental filtering. You're welcome. Great. So hi again, welcome back. As you know, I have my Substack channel where you can go and get more in-depth information or content about the episodes. I try to keep them at 30 minutes. Sometimes I can run over, but if I omit something and you're like, I want more information, go to the Substack channel. The link is in the caption below or the description section, depending on what platform you're reading this on or you're listening to this on. I've been reading so many books. But thank you again for tuning in. If you're new here, hi, I'm Justin. And I started this platform as a way to extend and share with others what I'm learning in therapy. And yeah, so I like to start out my episodes with a grounding exercise, a breathing exercise, so that we can be just in the same headspace, in the same wavelength, if you will. So if you're driving, focus on the road. Please focus on the road. If you are home and in a space where you can just give yourself a minute to check in and do some sacred breathing and some grounding exercises, I invite you to do so now. So if you can, just put your feet flat on the floor. Relax your ankles, relax your shins, relax your knees, relax your thighs and your hips, your stomach, relax your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, your chin, relax your feet, your nose, your eyes, your forehead. Close your eyes. And we're going to breathe in for 4. We're going to hold it for 7. And we're going to let it out in 8 counts. Let's begin. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How you feel? Good. Are you going to do one more breathing, just a regular inhale, exhale? We're not going to do another 4, 7, 8. And on the count of 3, we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Breathe in and out. All right. So, hi, welcome. Let's talk about this cognitive distortion, mental filtering. So, imagine you're at a restaurant and you have a friend that can literally find anything wrong with everything. It can even be the menu. Like I know Cheesecake Factory. menu is about as long as the Bible, it won't even be that. They can say the waiter's shoes look are you paying their bill? Did you buy those shoes? Shut up. But sometimes that is what your brain does when it is dealing with anxiety and it uses the cognitive distortion of mental filtering. So, mental filtering is your brain's impressive ability to spotlight every single negative detail while treating positive experiences like they're invisible. Literally. Think of it as having a Google search that only shows the bad reviews. Never shows the good, nothing. It's just always focusing on the negative. And I know some people are wired, like with that one person that's being negative is the person that's being honest, and I'm gonna hone in on that because like I want everybody to like it. Everyone's not gonna like everything. A lot of people don't like my podcast because it's not messy. That's fine. I still get download. Okay. I'm fine. If you're listening here, if you made it this far, thank you. That means a lot. So the thing is, this shows up different for all of us. So for parents, and we're talking about parents this week, it's reading your child is bright and creative, just needs to focus more on math. And now you what you hear, my child is failing at every single thing. No, 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 no. They said they're bright and creative. Okay, just needs to focus on math. Just focus on math. What's wrong with that? You focus on one tantrum in Walmart while forgetting the 20 sweet moments. Just before y'all walked in, the baby said, Mama, Daddy, I love you. You are amazing parent. Thank you for being great. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. And they get in and throw a tantrum because you snatched that Oreos from you, and now you're embarrassed and thinking you got the baddest child in Walmart. Like, no, your child. Okay. The teacher mentions your kid needs to work on sharing, and subtly you're convinced you're raising a psychopath. Stop it. Or for my single people. Now I know I've been talking about my dating, but right now I'm still single. Okay, for us single people, tap in. It's having a lovely dinner party where you've surrounded yourself by your friends and then fixated on being the one without a plus one. Yeah. And deciding this confirms you're meant to be single forever. Or every wedding invitation becomes evidence that you're behind in life. Like, ooh, can I bring my brother? Can I bring a best friend? Can I pose as if I'm in a relationship? And I wanna bring in another group of people because Ebony and I had a podcast called Second Pew Podcast where we weren't really like deconstructing the Bible and Christianity and the Black church, but we wanted to create a different section for conversation so that we can just say, okay, but why? Ask the question, why? Because I saw a post on Threads about people with neurodivergent or like neurospicy that sometimes when we ask a follow up question, it's not that we are questioning your judgment. We are trying to gain more information to add to our brain to let us know, oh, okay, this is another way people view this. Or this instance may come across like this. So let me reframe how I say this so I don't offend anyone else. It's not always being combative, but some people don't like to be questioned or pushed or judged or criticized in public, let alone in general. And we can't do that. Okay, tangent over. But for those deconstructing their faith, especially in the Black church, it's questioning one doctrine and subtly feeling like you're betraying an entire family legacy and community identity. It's just like we question the authenticity of certain themes or certain books or certain scriptures that people like to weaponize. And then instantly, when we're met with some type of judgment, it's just like, well, am I a bad Christian? Is Jesus not pleased with me? That's mental filtering. For my professionals, it's nailing a presentation but replaying that one moment where you forgot a word, you skipped a slide, you pronounced something wrong, you said 1 million instead of 1 billion. Like it's like those little things. And you're like, well, my career is over. No, 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 no. That's the difference between all or nothing thinking, catastrophizing, and mental filtering. Mental filtering is literally focusing on the negative, not doomsday, but just focusing on the one bad thing. Now, how does this play out in our real life? The exhausting part of mental filtering is how it masquerades as being thorough or realistic. Your brain genuinely thinks it's doing you a favor, again, by preparing you for disappointment. It's like having an overprotective mom. It's always the mamas, we talked about the bike and not everything else. But it's that overprotective mom who points out every potential hazard, but forgets to mention that you've been doing this for 30 years. But every day watch the news and it's just like, oh, well, I heard about this, so be careful. I told you about that. But thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to be careful. We end up living in this strange parallel universe where we're simultaneously successful and convinced we're frauds. Loved and certain we're burdens, okay? Like I'm loved by some of the people, but I feel like my love is a burden to them and they feel obligated to love me. Wow. Oh, breathe. 478. Creative and sure we're talentless because we haven't got that validation from other people who are probably looking for validation from other people. It's like a thing. It's like a web in a way. It's cognitively exhausting because you're essentially running two different operating system, reality and your brain's dramatic interpretation of reality. Stop it. So the hidden cost, what's practically insidious about mental filtering is how it robs you of experiencing your actual life. Yeah, it's like I don't want to say your split personality in a way when it comes to mental filtering, like reality and the fake reality you've created. You're not fully present for celebrations because you're scanning for problems. You can't enjoy compliments because you're busy cross-referencing them with one criticism from last month. It's like watching a beautiful sunset through sunglasses and you're filtering out the natural light. Like, take the shades off, be in the moment. You miss joy. You miss joy in everyday moments because you're busy preparing for imaginary disasters. You miss joy. Say it with me. I miss joy in everyday moments because I'm too busy preparing for imaginary disasters. Relationships suffer because you're always looking for the catch instead of receiving love. Hello? Hello? Relationships suffer. Mm. Relationships suffer because you're always looking for the catch instead of receiving love. Professional growth is stagnant because you're too focused on past mistakes instead of taking new risks. Okay? There is so many videos on YouTube and other things. People so like, AI this. Learn it. Just learn it. Learn it. See how you can get ahead of it. See how you can use it and boom. Done. But now you still stuck on Microsoft 99 talking about, I messed up Excel and the formula was wrong. Okay. And your confidence erodes because you're giving more weight to random criticism than consistent praise. So let's move on to section 3, adjusting to mental filtering. So here's what your body is trying to tell you when mental filtering kicks in. Okay. Something doesn't feel safe. That's it. Your nervous system is running a background scan looking for threats. And when it finds one negative thing to fixate on, it's like your internal alarm system finally has something to do. So this is how it shows up in your body. You might notice your shoulders creeping up towards your ears, okay? And that familiar tightness in your chest. Your breathing becomes shallow when your brain latches onto one critical comment. Some people get restless. Some people have a loss of appetite. Some people eat too much. Okay, you start craving certain things. You're hyperfixated on a few things here and there. Others experience low grade anxiety that sits under the surface, like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Mental filtering often lives in your body before you even realize it's happening in your mind. The connection to trauma is crucial to understand because mental filtering isn't just a quirky brain habit, it's a survival system or survival mechanism that served you once but has overstayed its welcome. So how do we fix this? Like how do you adjust the filter? Okay? Like I don't even want to go into the trauma connection, but we're gonna talk about it a little bit. So if you grew up in an environment where you had to constantly scan for emotional danger, maybe criticism was harsh, love was conditional, or chaos was the norm, your brain learned that spotting problems quickly was how you stayed safe. Your nervous system got really good at finding threats, even when there weren't any real ones around. So this goes for people with religious trauma, racial trauma, family of origin wounds, generational trauma, mental filtering can feel like putting on armor every morning. It's almost like code switching for your brain in a way. In a way, your brain learned that the world could be hostile, that people you trusted could disappoint or hurt you. So it appointed itself its chief security officer. How y'all feeling? Okay, because this is a lot. I have some more notes here, but that'll be on Subset. I want to move on to adjusting your relationship with mental filtering. Okay, so let's get honest about the cost. First, let's acknowledge that mental filtering actually costs you more energy than it saves. You're essentially running your brain's processor on max capacity to solve problems that mostly exist in theoretical futures that you've created. Yeah, it's like those browsers are still open, and your computer again is going all playing videos about things that haven't happened yet. So here's one practical shift for your future self. Number one, the evidence collection rebalance. So instead of being a detective who investigates crime, become a journalist who reports the full story. Okay, not just the one bad thing. But give us the beginning to the end. Okay, we don't need the climax. We don't only need the introduction. We need the full story. For every negative thing your brain catalogs, deliberately notice two neutral or positive things. Not toxic positivity, just actual data your brain conveniently ignores. And then this kind of goes with the catastrophizing method as well, but the and practice. So stop letting your brain use but to erase good things. The presentation went well, but that one slide was weird. Shift that to the presentation went well and that one slide felt awkward. Okay. Both things can be true without canceling the other. Thank you. The future self framework. This is shift number 3. Ask yourself, will my 85-year-old self care that I stumbled over one word in that meeting? Or will she be proud that I spoke about at all? Most of what we filter won't matter to our future selves, but our courage usually will. That will shape us. It's just like, you know what? I can do that. I can mess up. I can forget a word in a song. Okay? I can question something in a sacred space but not feel like my life is over. I'm damned to hell. Like that's how you grow. That's how growth happens, by asking questions. And the fourth thing, the percentage reality check. So when your brain latches onto one negative thing, ask what percentage of today was actually this problem? Usually, it's 3%. We have made that 3% the 97% and neglected the 97% that was actually good. So let's reframe that with the mental filtering. So for my parents, okay? Your child needs to see you model resilience more than perfection. When you fixate on every parenting mistake, you're teaching them that normal human moments are catastrophic failures. My single people, your worth isn't determined by your relationship status any more than it's determined by your shoe size. Okay? You are enough by yourself. Whoever gets to date you, just an added bonus. Okay? It's like spraying cologne at the end of a outfit, like you look good, but they just, add a little razzle dazzle. Mental filtering around dating keeps you in a scarcity mode when abundance might be trying to get your attention. This is something I talked about in season 2 about how I put up a wall when it came to dating. And there was probably a form of mental filtering there. Like I knew what I wanted, and then what I thought I knew what I wanted came up. It wasn't what I wanted, so the wall just kept getting bigger. And I was like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I don't know. For people who are deconstructing faith, your spiritual journey can be both gratitude of what the church gave you and honest acknowledgement of what hurt you. Both can be true simultaneously. More on that on Substack, okay? But really quick, questioning doesn't mean you're losing faith. Questioning something that you've read or learned or heard about as a child, but now you have an adult brain, questioning that doesn't mean you're losing faith. It might mean you're finding your faith. You can honor your family's spiritual legacy, your ancestors, your generational things, while also creating your own path. Many people in your church community, they've had doubts too. Okay, they might not share it because some people are private in the church. You're not as alone as your brain tells you. And for my professionals, your value at work isn't contingent on flawless performance. Companies hire humans, not robots yet. And your ability to learn from mistakes is often more valuable than never making them. So let's work on building some reality check systems. So create a simple daily practice of noting 3 things that went well. Not life-changing victories, just really good moments. Okay, really good instances. The coffee tastes good. I caught the train on time. I finished a book. Like those things. You're training your brain to notice the baseline goodness that mental filtering obscures. Okay? So learning to see the full picture is actually a radical act. You're refusing to let your brain bully you into a smaller life. You're choosing to trust your experiences over your fears. That's not naive, that's brave. So, as we close, you're not broken for having a brain that focuses on problems. You're human with a nervous system that's doing its confused best to keep you safe. The goal isn't to become someone who never notices negative things. It's to become someone who notices the whole picture. Your future self is counting on current you to start seeing the full spectrum of your actual life, not just the edited version that your anxiety wants you to see. So do with that what you want. Okay, listen to this episode as much as you need to, because that's why it's here. And I will see you next time on Adjusting Podcast. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.